Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my corner of the world. We are here for some more Absolute Superman. We got Absolute Superman 7, Absolute Brainiac's horrific origin revealed. Last episode was kind of crazy. We learned that Ra's al Ghul is going to be a Superman villain. I have never heard of Ra's al Ghul being a Superman villain, like literally anywhere in all of my years of following DC. So this should be very interesting. But then we also have Brainiac manipulating stuff from behind the scenes, and yeah, we're building up to something. We are definitely building up to something. I feel like maybe it's gonna be like a triple threat type of war. You got Team Cal, you got Team Roz, and then you have Team Brainiac. I don't know. We're building up to something though. I'm excited to see what it is. Let's hop in. Link to the original video will be in the description if you want to check this out on your own. Yeah, let's run this up.
Absolute Brainiac has appeared in the background of Absolute Superman, but today we learn his origin story. Welcome to the Comic Story and Complete Story series, where you get audio dramas of your favorite comic books, helping you decide what to go out and add to your collection. Today we continue Absolute Superman with issue number 7 by Jason Aaron. I hope you enjoy. The team of Omega Men drop into the secret facility somewhere in the Nevada desert. They drop down into the shadows, readying their weapons as they synchronize their cortexes with their combat suits. Weapons up,
these suits make them look like Ninja Turtles.
Shifting past strange technology and purple mist that clings to the floor. No signs of life. Facility appears deserted. The kind of power this place pulls from the grid. They must be hiding something here. Something big. But if it's the server cluster that runs the Brainiac algorithm, there's no way Lazarus would leave this place unguarded, so stay alert. The team leader thinks to the others as they shift forward. But suddenly, there is a burst of energy, and one of the agents falls to the ground, struggling in pain as the skin seems to...
God. Bro, I knew that it hurt, but to do this much damage while wearing the suits? If he wasn't wearing that suit, his entire body would be gone. It melted through the armor and melted the skin off of his body. If he wasn't wearing that suit, the flesh would be gone. He would literally just be bones. Oh my God, dude. What the hell?
Peeled from his body. What the hell was that? What just happened to Call? One of the agents thinks as they take cover, but a new voice.
No, y'all gotta get out of there.
Why? I shrank his skin, of course. The voice tells them. The team leader raises his weapon, prepared to fire. He glances back at his other agents, but they're already falling.
He's puking up his insides. This is his jaw. This is his jaw. I don't even want to know what these bones are. He is literally puking up his insides. You ain't need to do all this, Brainiac. You didn't need to do all this.
The ground. One starts crying out that they can't feel their muscles anymore, while the other's bones have shrank in his body, and he is vomiting them up in a pool of viscera.
That's
the team leader turns
horrifying.
and runs, firing blindly into the shadows. Omega Strike Force to base! Immediate evac needed! Primus, do you copy? The team leader shouts, but his hand suddenly enlarges and the rifle falls to the ground. He topples to the ground from the weight. Shh, now. Clear your thoughts. Relax that luscious brain of yours. I'll take it from here. The voice thinks as Brainiac steps from the shadows. his body held together by machines.
His
The
Brainiac
team leader
design.
lets out a
He
scream of
looks
fear
scary.
and pain. Later, the team leader is held
Nah,
together
he
by
didn't need
machines
to do that to them,
as
though.
Brainiac picks at his body, studying his biology. The body shifts, and the man struggles to open his mouth, his brain suspended in a jar nearby. I wouldn't advise wiggling in your
Nah, he
condition.
really did
I
use the way
tend
that
to
Shredder did
tinker
Baxter
when I'm
Stockman in
feeling
03
anxious.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Brainiac
Turtles.
says as he steps forward. He glances back at his monitors and glares at the images of the so-called Superman. He can't work it out, can't figure out where he comes from, how he is able to do what he can. Brainiac roars in anger and frustration and grabs one of the nearby shrunken cities, shaking the glass and demanding the scientists inside to give him the answers he desires. Tell me who he is. Who is Superman? Brainiac bellows. But the tiny scientists don't know. We know nothing, Almighty Brainiac. Please, please don't. They shout. But Brainiac whirls and throws the glass onto the ground. He steps on the city with an angry roar. Maggots! Morons! He yells as he begins squashing the beings. As
An
if they were
entire
bugs.
city full of evil,
Brainiac
by the way.
breathes deeply and gathers himself before turning back to the shattered tactical agent. My apologies. I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm afraid I can lose my mind a bit when I'm angry. Brainiac says as he reaches up and pokes at his exposed brain tissue.
That's
Explaining
disgusting.
that he's tried to cut free the parts of his brain that lead to anger, but has been unsuccessful so far. He turns back to the surgical table and sits on the ground, admitting that having someone to talk to might help him work through the problem. Brainiac closes his eyes and thinks back to the past. Many years earlier, Brainiac first opened his eyes. He stepped from his pod and looked at another Brainiac that stood before him. You are Brainiac 419,732. You
Why are
serve
y'all
the
making
collective.
so many?
What is the collective? Brainiac asks. But the older man waves a hand of dismissal and explains that he is not allowed to seek knowledge beyond his station. He says as he hands Brainiac a shovel. He motions to a furnace and a nearby pile of dead Brainiacs, explaining that Brainiac 419,732's job is to shovel the refuse into the liquidator. Begin
Ain't no
shoveling
way.
419,732. You are already behind schedule.
He has to move their bodies into a liquefier. Bodies that look just like him. That is haunting.
older Brainiac states
That is
before walking into the
haunting.
room. And so,
I could not
Brainiac
stomach
began
that.
shoveling the dead bodies into the liquidator. The bodies never ended. The ceiling would open and a chute would deposit more. It was on day 2,844 that Brainiac discovered
He's been doing this for
someone
years
wasn't dead.
then.
A murderous Brainiac tore free of the pile, trying to drive a knife into Brainiac's head. Wait, I serve the collective. What is your function? I am Brainiac 8,238,759.
8 million?
I stab. I kill. The murderer declares as he prepares to stab again. But Brainiac manages to push him off and grabs his fallen shovel, slamming it hard into the murderer's head and cutting it off. I am Brainiac 419,732. I shovel, he states simply before throwing the body into the liquidator. Day 13,638. Brainiac continues to shovel. His body is...
So his only purpose is to stay in this area, just shoving endless amounts of Brainiacs into this liquidator. Is that what it was called? I would actually lose my mind. I would lose my mind. I couldn't do this. 300, like, hold on. 365 days in a year, and this is day 13,638. How many years is that? I'm actually gonna look this up. I'm so serious. Bear with me, guys. I'm actually looking this up. How many days, or sorry, how many years are there in 13,638 days? $37 years and 4 months. Ain't no way in hell I'm staying here doing that for 37 years. You got me fucked up if you thinking I'm doing this for 37 years and 4 months without losing my mind. What?
Ravaged, cuts and broken limbs expose his blood.
Ain't no way, bro.
But he continues
nah.
onward. Day
You got me fucked up. Ain't no way.
49,901. Brainiac stands ready, but the room is empty. He rests easily on his shovel, but the ceiling does not open.
49,000
is brought into the room. Finally, he walks to the door. The one that the older Brainiac walked out of all those years ago. Hello? Is anyone there? There hasn't been any refuse in a long while. Should I? He begins to call, but there's no answer. Finally, he wedges his shovel into the door and pries it open, revealing an empty corridor. Brainiac moves forward, passing strange technology and small cities trapped in bottles. More Brainiac bodies stored in pods. Finally, Brainiac arrives on the bridge, where he finds the older Brainiac dead. Oh my, are you Brainiac 1? He whispers, but there is no answer. He walks forward to see the lifeless Brainiac slumped in the chair. No, you are more refuse, Brainiac says as he looks up out of the windows and stares at the stars as they pass by. He smiles slowly. I am Brainiac? I am Brainiac! He shouts with joy.
Yeah, you're the only one left.
That was the day that he was promoted to level 100 Effector. Brainiac 1. The one where he allowed himself the knowledge of the other Brainiacs. And Brainiac admits that he wondered what else was out in the universe, beyond the stars. In the present, Brainiac stands over the Omega agent. I've sometimes paused to consider the possibility.
That is a horrifying backstory. He spends decades just shoveling bodies that look like him into a liquidator without any type of like nobody comes to check on him. He's just endless. Nah, man. I couldn't do that. I could not do that. And come to find out that the people who were essentially your bosses have been dead for who knows how long. Nah, I couldn't do that.
Possibility that it would have been
I would have
better
lost my
for
mind.
everyone, me included, if I'd stayed in that room with the shovel. But where would the fun in that be? Brainiac tells the man. He leans over him, thanking him for helping him work through his anger. Contact the Brainiac Collective. Brainiac orders his computer as he turns away. The screens switch and light up, revealing the faces of other Brainiacs around the universe. Brainiac uploads the information that he has gathered and requests any and all possible leads related to Superman's identity and/or planet of origin. The other Brainiacs study his reports, but are shocked by what they see, calling the reports idiocy and that no species has the abilities described. One by one, they sign off. Until one speaks up. Krypton, a planet in the Rao sector. Your dust sample matches Krypton's thermal signature, the female Brainiac states, informing Brainiac 419,732 that the world was destroyed and there were no survivors. But this Brainiac did recently visit the former site of Krypton, where I retrieved samples of its remains. They display a rather virulent range of radioactivity, now transmitting the sample's elemental composition, the female Brainiac says. She begins to inquire about the identity of the Brainiac that called this meeting, but Brainiac ends the transmission. Brainiac turns back to his machines as they begin to synthesize a piece of Krypton that matches the specifications sent by the other Brainiac. And he smiles as a plan begins to form. I have work to do, he whispers to himself.
That's not good.
Later, he stands before a table where his machines are working on Peacemaker Smith. He is an alien, not even of this world. Tell me, Peacemaker Smith, how does that make you feel? Brainiac asks. But Smith merely screams in pain as the machines continue to work. He doesn't understand, questioning why he is being punished. Just kill me already, he begs. But Brainiac steps from the shadows and smiles. Quite the contrary, Peacemaker. Director Al Ghul was very impressed with your work in the field. You're being trusted with a very special deployment to what is soon to be the most dangerous war zone on the planet.
You refer to him by title. Interesting.
Kansas. Brainiac whispers to him. He turns away and stares at the war suit that he has developed and smiles.
Wait, are they turning him into a version of Metallo? That would be interesting.
And that concludes the origin of this.
Nah, man. Brainiac. He seems to be a pretty valid crash out so far, because if I had endured what he endured, I would have lost my sanity a long time ago. So you know what? Yeah. Justified crash out. This is like really building up to something here. It really is. I enjoy these more and more the more we watch, and it just seems like it's like really ramping up to some huge violent action. Like this issue was very gory with what Brainiac was doing at the beginning, and like all of what happened throughout. This was really gory, but anyway, this was awesome. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah, if you enjoyed my reaction to this, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.